I'm going to put the volume where I think it's
C has the basic mechanisms for expressing computations. It has iterations, it has data types, it has functions, and that's it.
And you will like it, okay? Okay, that's all you will ever need in your lifetime is data types, functions, and loops, okay? Anyone that tells you need more, they're lying to you, okay? They're lying to you. C is a perfect language, and I'm not going to lie to you. I feel like Bjarne over here is trying to sell me on some C++, okay? And so he's telling me why my car's extended warranty actually needs to be renewed, but I don't know if I want it renewed right now. Okay, Bjarne?
Doesn't get into the game of expressing abstractions. So if I want a matrix in C, I'll have to say I want an array, and then I want a whole bunch of arrays, and then when I want to get the third element, I have to program my way down to the third element of the first row or something like that.
Yeah.
In C++, you can define something called a matrix. You define a subscript operator. If you don't want rectangular matrices, you can get band diagonal matrices.
Classic Penn diagonal matrix. I mean, I was just talking honestly to my wife about Penn diagonal matrices. You know, we both agreed. C can barely even do that. So these are one of those things where it's like, it's both why I like a language that's more abstract and why I dislike a language that's more abstract completely. Do you know what I mean? Like, can we all agree that there is something very, very awesome about the fact that you can override the subscript operator? You know what I mean? You also have to then consider the fact that you can override the subscript operator. Like you have to, you kind of have both, which I'm not quite sure if it's good to have it or not. I find myself, whenever I like it, I'm like, oh, this is great. And then we do it, and then I go, oh, I actually hate this. No, I actually do. I actually hate this very, very much. Giving people the freedom is stupid. I don't know. See, that's the problem is like, I like the expressionness that you can have, but at the exact same time, I find that once you go a little too much, it ends up just sucking, right? It just ends up being the worst thing possible. I don't know. I can never figure it out. I can never figure out the problem here. Is like, do I want a language that is great or do I want a language that is not great? You know what I mean? Oh, gosh, I just deleted chat. Chat, you just got deleted.
Triangular matrices, that's the kind of stuff that people, the expert in that field, are interested in. And you build that set of concepts and then you program it directly. It's easier to program, it's easier to debug. And sometimes it's even easier to optimize for performance when you're expressing the notions at the higher level, at the level where an expert in the field operates, rather than trying to have the expert in the field, say the physicist, also be an expert in dealing with the hardware, with the computer. There's fields still.
Okay, so that's why we invented JavaScript. Okay, I think I understand now. I think I understand why we got JavaScript. We obviously cannot expect everyone to be an expert, so we got to invent a language in which everybody's very, very easily happy with it. And so we invented Python or JavaScript, depending on which side you want to be on. But then we also reinvented Rust, which Rust is kind of like, you don't need to be an expert with hardware, but we want you to be an expert in a completely different area that isn't necessarily translatable to any other language. But you get to be your own expert right here. You're an expert in this one single thing. Now be an expert.
You have to have a physicist and a computer scientist to get the work done. But we'd like to minimize those because the skill sets are not the same. So you want to lift from the hardware towards the human level.
What do you guys think? Is C obsolete? I want to see a poll. Let's see a poll. Let's see a poll. I want to do this. Manage poll. Manage my poll. Here we go. New poll. Is C obsolete? Obsolete. Question mark. Yes, no. Start poll. Let's go. As a general purpose language, it is obsolete, but not irrelevant. You think so? I have never been alive without the existence of smartphones. You're definitely such a zoomer. Look at this man be just, you are a he's the man zooming. The man is zooming. Damn, you know what? I actually feel bad for people who've only been born with the world of smartphones. Like you never got that experience Dude, you never got that experience where you had to start playing a game with somebody by first calling them on your land phone and be like, all right, I'm going to connect to you. I'm going to connect. Are you ready? Okay, we're going to play before Battle.net, we're going to play World of Warcraft or Warcraft 2. I'm calling TCP connection. I'm calling. Then we do it, we hang it down. You do whatever the settings are, and you try to like contact them, and then half the time it doesn't work, and then you have to like disconnect, reopen up your phone, and be like, dude, did it work? Was I calling? What's your IP, man? Hey, man, what's your IP? The other person's like, I don't know. How do I find it on AmericanOnline.net? Dude, it was so much fun. It was so fun back then. Dude, it was so good. It was so good. Tell me it was not good. And your mom picks up the phone, ruins the game. The whole game is ruined. Are punch cards obsolete? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm positive they're absolutely obsolete. There's things like COBOL, which stuck around for a long time, but they're absolutely, is your name from Talk 2? Absolutely. But they're definitely not from, like punch cards definitely got obsoleted pretty fast. We're Zoomer, bruh. I know you little Zoomers. You don't even know. All right, let's see. Chad thinks it is not.
This is somewhat controversial. I think it is obsolete. I think the languages should have been merged into one so that C would have been a subset of C++ instead of nearly a subset of C++. And then...
I thought C was a subset of C++. What isn't a subset? Does anyone know? What thing can you do in C that you can't do in C++? No, I'm not 34. I'm 37. Well, I'm 37 next week. His hair is obsolete. Got him!
People could have used whatever parts of the C++ toolset they needed. As it is now, there's still enough incompatibilities that you have to remember which language you're writing in. And I don't think that is necessary.
I write some C++ for Netflix, and I usually just write my C++ as C. I've never thought about what language I'm in. I didn't even realize that.
It's appears to be a historical necessity, but it's not a technical necessity. I've argued for compatibility, very strong compatibility, all the time. I mean, I started working on C++ 3 doors down from Dennis Ritchie, and we were talking every day. It's the competition and tension that has been between C and C++ over the decades certainly didn't come from home.
I don't know. You know, I like C. I mean, granted, there's things I like about C++ that I think just makes life a little bit easier. Obviously, just basic generic templating for container types is great. Right? We watched that video just like 2 days ago where someone built a series of macros to be able to generic template out container types, which just feels crazy, right? But at the same time, like I like that. Can we all agree that part is good? I don't know. I always wonder because there's this whole thing I've been kind of thinking about, which is simpler is better. But is it always better? Or is it only better some of the times? I've never been in the scenario where I wanted to do something in C that I needed C++ for. I hate the overhead and the pain in the ass syntax. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things. Like C, the rules exist. The undefined better, I read the word better. The undefined behavior does exist. But it's so simple that for the most part, it feels easier. But it also can be a little bit, little ass painy sometimes. You know what I mean? I hate C for the lack of Ray. It's so annoying not to have it. Yeah, I get that. That's why I really do think Zig has a really strong potential to do something great. You know, just use OCaml. I think OCaml was great. Get in the van, loser. Undefined behavior, get in the van, loser. I think Zig has a really big potential to do an awesome thing. You know what I mean? And so that's why I really like that, and I'd like to continue thinking more about Zig regularly, because I really think that it has the power to do all the things C does, just without the inconveniences of C. You know what I mean? I like it.
Dennis Ritchie wrote that first book with Brian Kernighan. I'll have dinner with Brian next week. We're still very good friends, as we've always been. But sometimes the programmers of the languages don't quite see it that way. This should have been one language.
You see that little bit of pain in his eye at the very end when he was like, it should have been one language. I wonder, I feel like I really think C or Zig is the true spiritual successor to C. It feels right. C++ 23, do you mean Rust? No, C++ 23 will come out in 2030. I don't know. VLang, the problem about VLang is that it has like a really bad reputation that it still needs to get over. I still remember doing some VLang. I was doing some VLang. Hard lines of VLang. And I got into it and I started using it and everyone was telling me that it's incredible and it's absolutely the language of the future. And it felt really good. Like I liked the feel of VLang. But right into it, I couldn't even make a linked list. The generics were so broken. And so it's like, what do I do with that? VLang 4.0 was just, or 0.4? Yeah, sounds like Rust. I know. It was like Rust, except for you just couldn't do a linked list at all. If